Fiji. Fiji is made up of 333 tropical islands in the South Pacific, and it's many people's idea of an island paradise. However, there's way more to it than just palm-fringed beaches with powdery sand and azure waters. Although, for a holiday that's not a bad thing to be around. Fiji is a great place for adventurers, honeymooners, and backpackers too. And you do get your fair whack when it comes to history and culture. Across more than 300 islands, we've picked 11 of the top things that will make your trip completely unforgettable. We've had to be ruthless, but we definitely think these are the best things to put on your Fiji itinerary. Sawa Islands. For those who are traveling to Fiji, the idea is probably a paradise island getaway. It'd be a stretch to say that Suva and Nadi have hustle and bustle, but in Fiji you can truly disconnect from everyday life and the rest of the world. This archipelago north of the main island of Viti should be savored for a few days rather than hours, but a trip here will be truly special. That's probably why it's so popular with honeymooners. There are a number of luxury resorts that will make your stay truly memorable. They'll be able to help you plan such things as snorkeling and scuba diving during the day, and things like candlelit beach dinners in the evening. Nadi. Situated on the west coast of the largest island, Viti Nadi is a tourist playground. It's a fantastic place to get an introduction to the islands. Here, you'll find some of the best places to eat in Fiji, the best shops, and the best bars and nightlife. There's also a lot of variation when it comes to places to stay, including cheap and cheerful hostels, as well as a smattering of luxury hotels and resorts. It's also the cultural hub of the islands. Don't miss the Sri Shiva Subramaniya Temple. It's the largest Hindu temple in the southern hemisphere and one of the most recognizable landmarks in Fiji. Don't miss heading into the foothills of the Sabdo Mountains. There, you'll find natural thermal springs and a mud pool in the rainforest. Fiji Museum, Suva. If you want to learn more about the history of this fascinating nation, there's no better place to do so than at the National Museum. Located in the capital city, Suva, you'll find this place inside the historic Thurston Gardens. The museum takes an in-depth look at over 200 years of history in Fiji and has more than 3,000 artifacts that tell authentic stories of indigenous life. They include traditional canoes made entirely from bamboo. For something a little darker, check out the traditional wooden cannibalism forks. Once you've explored the permanent galleries and temporary exhibitions of one of the most popular attractions in Fiji, you have a few options. Have a snack at the on-site Mimosa Cafe or pick up some souvenirs for friends and family at the gift shop. Kula Eco Park. It is an awesome place to visit in Fiji with kids. Named after the national bird of Fiji, you won't want to miss Kula Eco Park. Especially if you are traveling with the kids. It's in the Coral Coast, another of the best places to visit in Fiji. Here, you can see a swathe of flora and fauna that you won't find anywhere else in the world. For example, the endangered Fijian iguana and the national bird, the koala. There are also flying foxes, which are really bats, and parrots on display in the park. What to do there? You can take a self-guided walk through the park to try and spot all the animals, or the kids can get a little more hands-on. Yes, joining the Junior Ranger program is one of the most memorable experiences of visiting Fiji for them. They'll be able to hand-feed turtles, and the staff might even let mum and dad have a go too. There are a couple of adrenaline-fueled activities available in the park too, such as the Splash Mountain Jungle Water Slide and the Canopy Flyer Zipline. Kula Eco Park is one of the top attractions in Fiji for a day out. Garden of the Sleeping Giant. Located at the base of the Sleeping Giant Mountain, near Nadi, the Garden of the Sleeping Giant is a Fiji must-do, especially if you're into landscaped gardens and plants. Originally, this place was established to house a private orchid collection for the famous Canadian TV actor, Raymond Burr, who had a vacation home here. Nowadays, it's been opened up to the public and it's a lovely place to stroll around and see more than 30 varieties of orchid, both from Fiji and further afield. Explore Fiji's most popular garden on wooden boardwalks and stone pathways. These will take you over lily ponds and past so many different plants and trees. More Manlika Islands. Manuka Islands are one of the best places to see from above. They're not just great in a helicopter though. These islands are pretty sweet on land. Take a walk along the white sand beaches or take a dip in the azure waters. Another aspect of the Manuka Islands is that the water of them is sublime. So, it just happens that these islands are one of the best places in Fiji to practice water sports. Want something relaxed and stress-free? Then why not try paddleboarding or a bit of sea kayaking? If you're looking for a bit more of a thrill, then there's parasailing, surfing, and jet skiing here too. You should be able to arrange it through your accommodation. Matadola Beach. If you're staying on Viti Levu, you're in luck. That's because Matadola Beach is one of the best on the island. As you'd imagine from a South Pacific island beach, there are long expanses of sand that runs down to the turquoise water, which is perfectly calm. In fact, this is one of the few beaches in Fiji where you can swim. As well as swimming, you can try your hand at a whole host of water sports on Matadola Beach. Snorkeling and kayaking can also be enjoyed at this incredible beach, or you could just relax on the sand and catch a tan. Whatever you choose to do, it's one of the best places in Fiji if you're looking for a beach. Monuriki. Fiji is known as the coral reef capital of the world. That applies to nowhere more than Monuriki Island, one of the best places in Fiji to snorkel and scuba dive. It's actually one of the Manuka Islands. Snorkeling of Monuriki is great, but deep sea diving is even better. You'll be mesmerized by brightly colored tropical fish, lazy turtles, and a rainbow of coral reefs. This really is something to tick off the bucket list, and one of the top Fiji vacation ideas. Saigatoka Sand Dunes National Park. Head to the southwest corner of Viti Levu to find this incredible national park. Saigatoka Sand Dunes are one of the best places in Fiji for hiking and seeing a variety of landscapes. The park is also an important archaeological site, belonging to a primitive culture which lived here 2,600 years ago. If you're nervous about getting lost, you can get a guided tour from a local ranger. These last for 1, 2, or 4 hours and will take you through meadows, an inland forest, onto a gorgeous beach, and through the dunes which give the national park their name. The dunes are in fact some of the most impressive landmarks in Fiji. Coral Coast and Pacific Harbour. The Coral Coast is quite a lot of the southern shores of Viti Levu. It's named after the wide bank of coral that protects this part of the island. As well as doing extreme sports like skydiving and parasailing from Pacific Harbour, there are some more sedate opportunities too. To the west of the Coral Coast, you'll find Saigatoka Sand Dunes National Park. You can also hike up the Tivuni Hill Fort, go diving in the beautifully blue Bika Lagoon, or take a river cruise through the rugged and scenic Namosi Highlands. There's so much to do on the Coral Coast. It really is one of the best places to visit in Fiji.